Hello everyone, I'm Michelle. Cabbage juice, I don't know if you say that. Anyway, so I'm representing Hilltop. It's an Edinburgh Christian home education group here in the heart of Leith that we meet. This little logo right here is actually, so everyone in the group really wanted a name for the group. And so it didn't take me long, and that was, I think, something that just, I was searching and Lord just give me a name for this group, and it came really quickly actually that night. I just sketched something, and there we go. So exactly, this was my prayer. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and that is exactly what I did. And I waited, and I heard the Lord's will for this to happen, and Hilltop happens. So what is Hilltop? Hilltop is a community that provides enriching activities, drives curiosity, develops a love of learning God's creation. So this is kind of, when I sat down, I had the help of many ladies in the group to kind of come up with our core value, our aim for what is Hilltop. And this is what we came up with. So Hilltop, this is a rundown, but Hilltop, we meet every Thursday with Rolling Rhoda at indoor and outdoor meets. We meet at Hollywood Evangelical, for anyone who knows the Bernards, Joe Bernard, he is the pastor of that church, and they home educate. So we meet at their church from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. With outdoor meets, various things, parks, museums, field trips. The ages for the children right now, anywhere from little ones all the way up to about 12 years old. Don't have anyone currently in the high school range. There are children who are at home in the high school range of those families, so this is something to be considered that we will have to take a look at, especially as our little ones grow. It will just have to happen. So Hilltop, we welcome kids of all ages, and we have, right now what I'm doing, I make sure that we have something for all ages, from the littles to the 12-year-olds. So I'm going to just go through some pictures, kind of showing you what we do. So this group, most of the parents in our group, they provide a very structured academic time for their children at home. So when I was looking at the needs for what can I provide, or what can this community provide for the families, it wasn't necessarily an academic one. No one was really wanting that or needing that. And I needed to look at the needs of the community, not exactly because in my mind, I had this whole little idea of what I wanted it to be like, but to be honest, it was what were the needs around me, and that's what needed to happen. And that was to provide enriching activities for all ages, and a place where consistent time together where the children can form relationships. And I think that's been the blessing of it all, because so many of the children have now formed these relationships, and they have book clubs outside of the group, and families meet up, and I think that's really special. So we're just going to go through some of the pictures. This is before we had a building. We did some outdoor time at Dr. Neal's garden, which I highly recommend, looking at mushrooms. We go to museums, and we talk about the arts, and particularly when we're doing these sorts of things, on the indoor sessions, we'll talk about a specific art style, and then we'll go to the museum. We did a Cardboard City Entrepreneur Day, where the kids made all sorts of creations. Leading up to Christmas, we had our children write cards for Bethany Christian for the homeless. So we wrote about 75 cards, and we dropped them off at one of their facilities so that they can hand out the cards in their bags that they give all the homeless that are staying with them. So we're kind of partnering with them and making that maybe a tradition for every year for our kids to make them beautiful, God-loving, filled Christian Christmas cards. So this is just a time to gather We have roughly around 12 active families in the group at the moment, with a few who come drop in here and then. But I particularly, I don't, there's no subscription or you must adhere to coming every single Thursday. I wanted this to be a very relaxed community where if you can, please come. And most of the families do come regularly. There's my little two making Christmas cards. So there's the cards. We've done ice skating here in Edinburgh as well in the city centre. So it's been really nice to see how the children have formed bonds and relationships where they might not have otherwise with these families, because although Christian home educators, it is a minority in Scotland. I mean, I think we all feel that way. There are a lot of us, and when we come together, I think it's, you look around and you say, wow, I didn't know you were there, and I felt that way in Hilltop. So this is just some pictures leading up to Christmas time, where we've done Christmas activities. This is the 12 Days of Christmas, where we sung the 12 Days of Christmas and we all reenacted the 12 Days of Christmas. We've done stuff on astronomy, looking at stars. So we picked various topics. I myself am doing most of it all at the moment. It's not that the mothers wouldn't, because I know they would. I've wanted it to be a very welcoming, hands-off thing for the mothers at the moment, but we are looking at dividing the children up from youngs to about 8 years old, and then the 9 to 12-year-olds, they do something separate. We've had a K-League. So we have had all sorts of different various activities in which all the children can engage on at all different levels. We've looked at the Jewels of Scotland, Honours of Scotland, made catapults and castles. We've done a day on ecosystems, biomes. And we also are looking at more presentation skills. We've done time in geometry where the kids had to include fractals and just different geometry shapes, and they've had to put their piece of art together to make it look like something like this. Our kids thankfully head off to the park, the local park next to Holyrood Evangelical, where they all just so lovingly look after one another. The olders, they look after the little 2-3-year-olds so well, and they play and bond together. And I think because we've had it consistent over the since we've been meeting indoors since about November, the kids are really getting to know each other and just forming those bonds. This is just around Easter time. Doing all sorts of, so some of the latest activities we've done was looking at the Tower of Pisa, building a tower challenge with spaghetti noodles and some mushrooms, and we also made our own pizza dough. This is about the end of this gentleman, he won because his structure standed the best. It was structurally sound. So we're welcoming for any Christian home education family. And the idea of Hilltop is, yes, it's lovely if you live in Glasgow to come to us, but ideally it's a sense of community, so to make it easy for homeschooling parents local to Leith. That was the heart behind it, because I know how hard it is if you don't drive and you're taking transportation everywhere. So that's I wanted it to be a place that you would come because it would be accessible. So if you have a family and you would like to come to be a part of a community local to you, then Hilltop's for you. It's not far from here even, it's just off of Leith Walk, Montgomery Park. So please come and chat with me if you're interested. Thank you for listening and hearing me out. Oh.